Okay. So these are some terms that you do need to know. Let's just go back. So first off is the cloud, and the cloud refers to software and services that run on the internet instead of locally on your computer. So since today is an Apple class, the cloud is referring to the iCloud. So everything that is being saved on your device is being saved on a server through Apple that runs on the internet. And in order to access the things that are inside of your cloud or the iCloud, you do have to go to iCloud.com. And I'm going to show you today how to access that as well. But nothing is being saved on your computer or being saved on a device. Essentially, it's being saved into the cloud. Next up, we have files, and files are basically a container in a computer system, a phone system, a tablet system that stores your information. So instead of having paper documents that you used to use in the library, in the office, it's basically just now the virtual version of that. So when a doctor sends you your blood work results, that is considered a file. When your family member or friend sends you a picture of something, that is a file. So anything that can store information is considered a file. Then we have two things called upload and download, and these two terms are very important when you want to start using any cloud storage or even things like your email or even like saving pictures. So I like to use sending and saving to understand a little bit of upload and download. So when you are uploading something, you are sending that file from one computer system to another. So what that means is that, let's give an example. When your doctor sends you your blood test results or any results that you did at the doctor's office, your doctor sending that file, that piece of paperwork that he has on their computer and is now sending it to your phone, to your tablet, or to your computer itself. So anytime something gets sent over, either it's your friend, your family member, your doctor, your coworker, they are uploading it from their computer to another. So think of it as well like a picture. When your friend sends you a picture, they're sending the picture from their phone to your phone now. So that's what upload means. And then download is just the opposite of that. So when you actually want to save that picture that your friend sent you or your family member sent you, you're downloading it to your phone, you're downloading it to your tablet, you're downloading it to your computer. So that's download and that's saving it somewhere. So it used to exist somewhere else, and now you're putting it on your device. And then storage is essentially everything that you have on your phone, all of your pictures, all of your documents, all of your notes, all of your passwords, all of that takes up storage. And that's essentially what that is. Does anybody have any questions on these terms? Okay, so let's get started and learn a little bit about what is the cloud. So when you store data in the cloud, what you're doing is utilizing a web-based storage solution to avoid having to store your data locally on your device or an external hard drive. So before, when the cloud did not exist, so, maybe 2012, 2011, 2010, around that time, and then before, people had to get a USB or an external hard drive to save all of their pictures and documents when their computer didn't have enough storage or their phone didn't have enough storage. Sometimes people got another kind of a SIM card or SD card. So when people used to use digital cameras, people would get extra SD cards because their camera would not have enough space. So they needed to buy more space, which was the SD card. But now, since the cloud exists, you don't really have to worry about buying a USB, an external hard drive, an SD card, because now everything can just be saved into the internet. It's being saved on iCloud, or if you use Google, it's being saved with Google storage. There's also a Microsoft cloud storage. There's even third-party companies like Dropbox. So there's many type of cloud systems where you can avoid now buying external hard drives because sometimes they can be very pricey. So people like to use the cloud. And with cloud storage, your data is safe and secure and not in danger of being lost if your phone, computer, or external hard drive is damaged by water, fire, a tornado, any external factor. So for example, if there's a natural disaster and your phone or computer or tablet gets destroyed, it's okay because everything is saved into the cloud storage. Or if your phone gets stolen or lost, it's okay because your information is saved in the cloud. So that's a great advantage of why people use the cloud, because even though something happens with their device and it gets damaged, they don't really have to worry too much because they know they have been saving everything into the cloud and they can always get it back. That's how when people get a brand new phone, they can easily put all their information on their new phone because they just use their cloud to transfer that information to their newer phone. Does anybody have any questions on this slide? You could also say it in the chat.
I do have a question.
Yes.
First, I want to thank you. You're very clear, so I really appreciate your lesson. My question is that I have used the iCloud for a number of years, and then I stopped due to various reasons. So my question for you is that if I start iCloud again, can I ask iCloud to retrieve some of the things that it used to be kept in my iCloud? Right now, of course, they are not because I don't have iCloud.
All right. So do you remember what your old iCloud account was and the password for that?
Ooh, I don't, but I could find out probably.
And did you ever delete the things that were inside of the cloud once you stopped using it?
No, I did not.
All right, so if you have not deleted anything, they should all be still there whenever you find that password and username to that iCloud account.
Oh, I'm so relieved.
If you haven't deleted it, it's still there.
I am so relieved to hear that.
Yeah.
Because there's some valuable pictures in that iCloud.
Yeah, they don't like automatically get deleted. It just kind of stays there like an artifact.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so very much for your answer.
Anyone else have any questions on this slide?
Yeah, I don't know if you had said it before. It's regarding paying for the iCloud storage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I pay like I think 99 cents. You know, I don't know for how much, but I keep getting a message on my device that my iCloud storage is full. So, I don't know whether there's a maximum amount that I, need
Right.
to have. Yeah.
I was going to go over it soon, but that is true. Most of the cloud storages are based on like different levels. So 99 cents is just like the first thing, that like the lowest amount you would have to pay.
Mm.
But once you pay like maybe $1.99 or $2.99, you would get more storage. So the reason why you're getting that answer is because your phone has so much storage that 99 cents is not enough. You may need to buy more iCloud storage. You may need to get 50 gigabytes or 100 gigabytes. The amount you're paying right now is not enough to save all of your information.
Okay, so once I have that, does it work because I have an iPad, an iPhone, and a Mac? So will the storage will be for all the 3 devices?
If you have the same iCloud account attached to all of your devices.
Okay, all right, thanks. Is there any way I can combine them if they're different?
You can, you just have to then sign out of the one that you're using and put just one main account. And I'll show you today where to find the name of your iCloud account.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so, okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. If anybody has questions still, you can always unmute yourself or say it in the chat. So what is the iCloud? So the iCloud is the service from Apple that securely stores your photos, files, notes, passwords, and any other data in the cloud and keeps them up to date across all of your devices. So if you're someone here today that has multiple Apple devices, such as an iPad, a MacBook, and you have an iPhone, and you're using the same iCloud account, what that means is that all your photos are being saved together. All your messages are being saved together. All your notes and passwords are being saved together. So let's say you take a picture with your Apple iPhone, you can still see that picture with your Apple iPad, because everything is being saved across all of your devices. And you can find them on iCloud.com, which I will show you later, and I will also type it in the chat. iCloud does come with 5 gigabytes of free storage. So many of us today, we use a lot of storage on our phone, right? Just about like 3,000 pictures on a phone already takes up 5 gigabytes of storage. So that's why a lot of people get messages on their phone or iPad or even MacBook that says your iCloud has not been backed up, or you need to pay more for iCloud storage, because 5 gigabytes is just, it's nothing. And many people need at least 15 gigabytes, maybe 50, and some even 100 of gigabytes. So that's why with iCloud, there are different plans where you do have to pay to get more storage. Same thing works with Google Cloud Storage, Microsoft, even Dropbox. So iCloud is not the only service that makes you pay for more storage. All of the cloud-based storages are doing the same thing. But with iCloud, they do give you 5 gigabytes for free. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. So why do some people use iCloud, and what's the advantage for that? So when you use iCloud, you can always access your photos, files, and passwords and other data on any device you choose. So once again, if you have a MacBook and an iPad and an iPhone, you can always access all of that information no matter what device you use. And it constantly stays up to date. So all of your information is saving. But once again, it can only save and stay up to date if you do have that storage, right? If you're always getting a message that says your iPhone has not been up to date, has not backed up, that means your device is not saving those photos, it's not saving those files, it's not saving any passwords that and any other data. So you do want to make sure, if you want to use iCloud as a backup in case, you know, your phone gets stolen, lost, or broken, you want to make sure it gets saved to the iCloud. So if we see here, it says, for example, if you turn on iCloud photos on your iPhone and your MacBook, you will see the same photos on both devices. And today at the ending, I'm also going to show you how to turn on different things for the iCloud. And then you're going to see yourself what you have been, you know, accidentally turning on that you could turn off, or if it was off, you could turn it back on. Does anybody have any questions on this slide? Okay, so what are the downfalls of cloud storage? So they do have some pretty good advantages with always staying up to date, and in case there's an emergency, a natural disaster, if your phone gets lost, all of that is going to be saved into the cloud. But the downfall of cloud storage is that if you do not have internet connection, or you have very poor service for your internet, you're basically going to be locked out of accessing your data. The same applies if there are any technical issues or outages from Apple's server side. So let's say Apple one day, you know, says, our company right now is having some glitches, we're having some outages, and right now our iCloud system is down. What that means is, for that time being, you will not be able to access some of your photos and passwords and any other documents that you uploaded to the cloud. Same thing with internet connection. Let's say you go on a trip somewhere to internationally somewhere, and you don't have good service in that country, you're probably not going to be able to use iCloud. Okay, someone said in the chat, I see the person who said it in the chat. I'll get with you right after I finish this slide, Susan. Another downfall of cloud storage is security. So all cloud companies do have security measures in place to protect your data from hackers, but of course it is not 100% secure, right? They cannot 100% say nothing is ever going to happen to your data, nothing's ever going to happen, nothing's ever going to be hacked into, because they can't see the future and they don't know how good someone is as a hacker. You may have heard, like on the news, like some celebrities or politicians, sometimes their iCloud gets hacked into and they release information about that person. And that happens because there's hackers out there that are really good and they can get into your account. So what's good about this is that if you do intend on using cloud storage, just be particular on the things that you decide to upload to the cloud. Never put any sensitive and personal information in the cloud storage, like any financial details, your security, anything like that, your social security, it should not be on the cloud. Like even if you took a picture of your social security, that should not be saving to your cloud storage. Does anybody have any questions on this slide?
How do you keep it from going into the cloud?
So once you turn on your photos to go into the cloud, all of your photos are going to go automatically into the cloud, but it's your job then to go into iCloud.com and then delete it off of the cloud. There's no button that says, I only want this picture in the cloud. I don't want that one in the cloud. All of them save automatically to the cloud.
Oh, so you don't even put them in your phone? I'm sorry, I got another phone call when you were talking. So you don't even take a picture of your social security card then?
No, you shouldn't, no.
Okay, and your credit cards, don't take pictures of them either?
No, you shouldn't, no. And if you do, then, once you use it and whatever you had to do with that picture, then you should delete it right away.
Got it.
Does anybody have any other questions on that?
Is there any way to save information like that? To keep it off the cloud, but to have a copy backup of it, for instance, when you travel? Like say a
What you can
passport?
do- You said your passport?
Yeah, for instance, a passport. If you want to make sure you have a copy, God forbid somebody steals your passport or your license or anything, as you were saying, something that you want secure. Is there any way to have an image that's not in paper that can be kept off the cloud storage?
So what you would have to do then is probably get a specific application and then tell your phone you do not want that application to be saving data to the cloud. So for example, on our iPhones, we have an application called Files. And essentially what you could do is put like your passport and those images in your Files application. But then once I show you later today, once you go into your iCloud settings, you can tell the iCloud to not save all that information that you've been saving in the Files app. So then it doesn't go into the cloud. So there is a way where you can save things and not put it into the cloud, but it just gets trickier when it's like the whole entire Photos application. And so, and you said you had another question in the chat, right?
Yeah, it was about Google, because you had mentioned Google storage, and because I didn't end up with an iPhone, I ended up with another Android. I've gotten that message that my Google account is full, and I'm wondering, to get into that Google account, which is my access that they're looking for? And it says, put in your ID, put in your password. I never know which of the gazillion of them I have are they asking me for.
For your
Is it-
Google?
Yeah,
So for Google, they want the password for your Gmail. So whatever your Gmail address is, and then the password for that account.
thank you. That clarifies things.
Anyone have any other questions on this?
Yeah, how do you go into the cloud to take out a picture?
I'm going to show you that at the end of the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so here is an image that you probably have experienced or not have experienced. If you haven't experienced this, then that means you're doing really good with saving things to the cloud. But like some people like me who do not like to pay for extra iCloud storage, I get this message kind of all the time where it says, iPhone backup failed and iPhone has not been backed up. And then if you can't see what it says on the screen, I'm going to say it. It says, this iPhone hasn't been backed up in 2 weeks. Backups happen when this iPhone is connected to power, locked, and on Wi-Fi. And at the top it says, you do not have enough space in iCloud to back up this iPhone. So backups are very important and they go hand in hand with saving things to the iCloud. So when you do not back up your phone, what that means is that none of your data is being saved. So let's give just one example. Let's say you go on a great trip to Disney World and you take all these amazing, great photos and videos of your friends and family members, and you meet all these people, and you have all these great photos. You go back home and you get this message that says you do not have enough space in the iCloud. What that means is that, let's say your phone gets broken, your phone gets stolen, your phone does not work anymore. All of those pictures that you took at Disney World, all those great pictures are now gone forever because they did not save to the iCloud. So even though it's on your phone, even though those photos are in your photo gallery, they need to be saved to the iCloud if you want a backup. If you feel like your phone is never gonna get broken, or your phone, is not gonna get stolen, or you feel like, oh no, I won't lose my phone, then that's perfectly fine as well. But if you do want to have a backup in case of those emergencies, you do want to save it to the iCloud, because if not, all of your data will be gone forever. And that's why in the past, before iCloud existed, people used external hard drives, USBs, SD cards. All of those are different forms of backups that people used in the past before the cloud existed. And this is why people use the cloud now. So in case of an emergency, it's all still there. And that's why it's very important to back up your phone, your MacBook, or your iPad. So once again, once you back up, all of your iOS devices will store all of the data and information online, which is your iCloud.com. And as you can see here, it says this can come in handy when you need more storage space than your device offers, or you need to restore a lost or damaged device. So another reason why people use the iCloud is because when you first purchased your phone, this is for Apple devices. I'm not too sure for Android devices, but when you first purchase your Apple phone, the person in the store who, gave you the phone, told you, how much storage do you want on your phone? Do you want 15 gigabytes, 30 gigabytes, 50 gigabytes? Now the phone goes up to 100 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes. I think the new iPhone 14 even goes to 1 terabyte, which is greater than a gigabyte. So when the person in the store first asked you that question, that's how much storage your iPhone can contain. And people, when they get, only 30 gigabytes of storage on their iPhone or their iPad, they start to realize that's not enough space. So instead, they have to put things in the iCloud so they can free up some space on the phone itself or the iPad itself. So those are two reasons why people would back up their phone: in cases of emergency, or to free up some space on your device itself. Does anybody have any questions on that?
So what's a good amount to when you want to get a phone, what's a good amount to buy?
I would say a good amount for the average user would be maybe 64 gigabytes. I don't know I think they still do 30 gigabytes. I'm not too sure. But the reason why I say 64 gigabytes is because most of the software updates that your phone has or wants you to do takes up a lot of storage. Some of the newest updates on your phone sometimes take up 3 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes. So if you only have 30 gigabytes, that's it. You already took off 4 gigabytes from just updating your phone to the latest software. So I would say 64 is a good range.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, so how do I access what is inside of the iCloud? You can always access your information that's stored in the iCloud either by using a computer for Windows, so like a PC computer. You can use a MacBook. You can use your phone or your iPad, and you could use these icons here, the Safari icon, or if you have Google and you use Google Chrome, you can use the Google Chrome icon. But once again, in order to access your iCloud and see what's inside of your iCloud, you do need to know your iCloud account, email address, and password. You cannot get inside without those two things. In order to reset your iCloud password, if you forgot it, you do have to put in your phone number, so you can get a special code that Apple will text you that you have to answer. And you may need to answer some security questions that you may have done in the past when you first created your iCloud account, like those specific security questions that you get asked, like what's your mother's maiden name? What's the street that you lived on when you were a child? You may be asked those certain things if you forgot your password and need to reset it. So in the chat, I'm just going to put in the website, which is just iCloud.com. And that's all you need to that's all you have to do. Just put iCloud.com and you'll see it'll say sign in. If you do know your email address and password, you'll be able to see everything that has been saving there, and you can start deleting things that you realize was there and you could take it out. But before you do any of that, I am going to show you the iCloud settings in your iPhone and iPad so you can see what exactly is being saved into the iCloud and how to back up your iCloud so everything can keep on saving there. But once again, if you do get a message that says your iCloud has not been backed up or you do not have enough storage, what that means is that your phone has so much data and information that 99 cents is not enough. You need to pay $1.99 or the $2.99 so you can get more storage, because 5 gigabytes is not enough. 15 gigabytes is not enough. Many people need 50 gigabytes or 100 gigabytes to save all of their data. So I'm going to screen share my phone, and we're going to look together at my phone, and you can take out your phone as well. And we're going to just see how the iCloud looks when we're saving stuff to the iCloud, what exactly we're saving to the iCloud. And I'm just going to show you where to find it. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to screen share my phone. All right, so I'm going to go into the settings icon. Can everyone see my phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the settings icon, which is the gray gear icon. For me, it's on the first page of my iPhone, but for you, it may not be there. So just swipe right or left to find that settings gear icon. And once I clicked on it, it opened up. And all the way at the top, you see there's my name and my little picture of myself, a little cartoon character of me that you could all do. And I could probably show you how to do that in another class. But all the way at the top should be your name. And you do want to click on it. And it should open up to a screen like this. And all the way at the top, you could see is an email address, and that is my email address that is connected to my Apple ID. What that means is that later today, if you want to sign in to your iCloud account and see what has been saving there all these years, you have to use that email address that's showing on your screen right now at the top. That is your email address that is connected to your Apple ID. There's any other email address that you put in is not going to work. That's the one that's connected to your phone, your iPad, or your MacBook. If you have an iPad and an iPhone, you want to do the same exact thing that I'm doing right now and see if you have been using the same account or you have two accounts. If you have two accounts, what that means is that all of your iPad information is saving on that iPad account, and then all of your information is saving on that iPhone account. But once I get to this screen, I actually want to click on where it says iCloud 5 gigabytes. So what that means is that I'm not paying for anything because 5 gigabytes is for free. I'm gonna click on that where it says iCloud 5 GB. Yours probably says 50 GB, 100 GB, depending on if you're paying for iCloud or if you're not. But I'm gonna tap on that. And once I clicked on it, what you can see is different things. At the top of the screen is my iCloud and what's been saving and how much I have left to use. But what's really important is right under that, that's called apps using iCloud. And it says photos, iCloud Drive, passwords and keychain, and show all. So what that means is all of these apps, if you have them on like I do on the screen, that is being saved to your iCloud. So if photos is on, all of my pictures are saving to the iCloud. All of my passwords are saving to the iCloud. And if I click on show all, it's going to give me a list of different applications that use iCloud and save your information to the cloud. Green means on, gray means off. So if you're on the screen with me right now and you feel like some of these things should not be saving to the cloud, you want to turn it off by just tapping on the green and turning it off. So I'm just going to give you one example of something, which is contacts. You could see on my screen that contacts is toggled on for green. And the reason why it's on and why I want to save it to the iCloud is because let's say I need to get a new iPhone in the future. All of my contacts that are in this phone can easily be transferred to my newer phone because it's saving everyone's name and number. That's why I like to keep contacts on. That's just one example. But does anybody have any questions so far? So as you can see, if you just scroll down with your finger, you're going to see things that you've turned on, turned off, and all of these are saving to the iCloud. So what does this mean? Let's say if it's something like Zoom, you must be saying, well, what is Zoom saving to the cloud? Zoom can be saving your email address that you always put in and the password that you always put in. If you have Uber, what is Uber saving? Uber could be saving the different trips that you went on, like past history, in case you needed those like receipts of where you went, or if, who the driver was, the different ratings that you gave them, Uber saving that. Let's see. If you have wallets like I do, it's saving like the past purchases that I made with my wallet.
Siri?
Siri, sometimes what Siri will save is like the different things that you asked it. So then Siri can get to know you more by the different questions that you asked. So like, I don't know what things you ask Siri, like make a timer, things like that. Then it starts to recognize, and Siri then will become better at saying their answer to you. I turned my messages off because my messages would have so much storage that it would take up a lot of space. So I just then turned it off. And for me, that's okay because I don't really need to save my messages. I don't want messages from 2019, 2020 still on my phone. But if you're someone who always wants to look back at conversations from past months and past years, you do want to make sure your messages are on. But for me, that's off. Does anybody have any questions on this?
Tabitha,
Yes.
what about iCloud backup?
I'm doing that right after this.
Okay,
Yeah, I just want to make sure anybody has any questions on this part.
okay, thanks.
Okay, so if no one has any questions, and that's the next thing I'm going to go over. So, oh,
Okay.
someone had a question?
Yeah, the passwords, is that what you're gonna go over?
I was gonna go over backups. Passwords is, let's say you saved a password on any of the apps you use, it's going to be saving to the iCloud. So if you get a new phone, all of the passwords that you had on this phone will save to the newer phone. That's how my phone remembers like my Instagram password, my Zoom password, because I have this on.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go back by hitting the back arrow in the top left-hand corner. And right here, we do have something called iCloud backup, and that is very important as well. And if I click on iCloud backup, you can see automatically back up your iPhone so you can restore your data if you lose your device or get a new one. And at the bottom, you should have a message of whether your phone has been backed up, or like me, I have a message that says, this iPhone cannot be backed up because there is not enough iCloud storage available. So what does that mean for me? That means that if my phone gets broken or lost, my data is going to be lost. But that's okay because I've been saving most of my photos with Google Photos, and that's like the most important things that I care about on my phone. So I'm not too worried about that message. But if you do have that message and you do use iCloud to back up all your data, you do want to make sure to whether or not you want to buy more storage with iCloud, or think of using another cloud storage service like Google or Microsoft or Dropbox. There's plenty of cloud storage services. Or you can just, go the old route before cloud storage existed and buy yourself a USB or an external hard drive and upload it that way. So there's always different ways to save your information. But if your device has enough storage, iCloud storage, at the bottom of the screen, what you're going to see is the last time it has been updated. It's going to give you a date or a time, and that's all good. If your thing is like from February or January, the date that you have at the bottom, you do want to make sure you click on that backup now button. And right here at the bottom, it just says that your phone needs to be powered, locked, and on Wi-Fi or cellular network. So what that means is that your phone only backs up when it is plugged in to the outlets. So it needs to be plugged in and charging. If it's not like plugged in, then it's not going to back up. That's why many people back up their phones during the night or when they're not busy, they're not using their phone, because then it just backs up smoothly. If you're using your phone right now, it's not going to back up. So even if you click on backup now, it's not going to fully back up because it's not plugged into a power source. Does anybody any questions on this page?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I typed it in the chat. If you have an iPhone, can you use the Google cloud storage?
Do you have a Gmail account?
Yes.
So yes, you can use the Google storage because that's what I use.
Mhm.
The only thing with that is that you don't want to start making duplicates of duplicates, right?
Mhm.
So if all your pictures are on your iCloud storage, you don't want to put now every single photo into the Google storage. You kind of want to organize yourself and then only put some pictures in the Google, or maybe just really important photos. You don't want to put everything that's on the iCloud now on the Google, because then you're going to start buying storage everywhere. And I've seen this happen with many people where they didn't notice that all of their photos are just duplicates everywhere. So what I do is that I don't use my iCloud photo storage. Instead, I put it on my Google photo storage so that my iCloud can save other things like passwords and notes. So I kind of like separate it in a way that I know what I put in each of the cloud storages. I make sure not to duplicate it.
Okay. Is that the same as iDrive?
As in iDrive?
Yes.
I haven't heard of iDrive.
Okay, because there's a thing on my phone that says my computer that says iDrive. So
Do you have a MacBook?
yes.
Yeah, iDrive is not the same as Google Drive.
Okay. Thank you.
Tabitha, I have a question about, because I ended up yet with another Android, I think it would be easier to save my photos on Google Drive, on the Google Cloud, and buy the extra storage on Google Cloud, even though I resent paying $1.99 a month for the storage at the minimum that I'd need. But I do have an iCloud account for which is where I've been storing the stuff from my iPad. Is there a way to cancel my iCloud storage, but to move those pictures over to Google before I cancel the Apple account?
Okay, so before you cancel your account with iCloud, you do have to then start downloading or saving all your photos. Do you have a computer, Susan?
I do. It's a Mac.
Right. You have to then save all of those photos in the iCloud to a folder on your computer. Then you can transfer that photo into the Google Photos cloud. And then pay now the extra $1.99.
Right. That's where I ran into trouble when I tried to empty out my photos before
Yeah,
I go away, and
I
I'm still
remember.
stuck with that. Yeah, I'm stuck. All right, that's a private conversation.
Okay, yeah, you could make an appointment with me again, Susan.
I will.
Okay, so before we end today, I just want to show you one last thing that is not really iCloud, but I just want you to get familiar with understanding storage in general. So like I said earlier in this conversation, I said that when you brought your phone or your iPad, you told the person who got you the phone how much gigabytes you wanted on their phone. And I just want to show you where that could be found, how much storage you're taking up, and why now you do not have enough iCloud storage. So I'm going to use my phone as an example so everyone can understand. So as you can see, I only have 5 gigabytes of iCloud storage, right? That's all that's saving, and you can see that my phone said when it had to back up that I did not have enough space. But you can see that my thing is not even full, right? I have all that blank gray space. But I'm gonna show you why 5 gigabytes is not enough to save all of my information on my phone. So I'm gonna just go back with my finger, and I'm gonna go back to the main page of settings. All I did was I clicked the back button on the top left-hand corner. And now I'm back on this main page. And I'm gonna show you my iPhone storage. So not my iCloud storage, what can be saved on my phone itself. So when I first brought this phone, this is how much storage is on my phone and I can continue to save. This has nothing to do with iCloud. So I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna click on where it says general. I'm gonna find where it says general. And in general, I do have something called iPhone storage. And I'm just gonna make sure I'm not going too fast. So I was on settings, general, then iPhone storage. And I'm gonna tap on iPhone storage. As you can see at the top of the screen with my phone, I have 256 gigabytes. That's how much storage my phone has. And my iCloud is only 5 gigabytes. My iCloud doesn't have enough space because my 5 gigabytes compared to this amount of storage is not enough. It can't save anything because it's only 5 gigabytes. And it says right here on the screen that I already used 100 gigabytes of 256 gigabytes. I need to save that 100 of gigabytes into the iCloud. So for that, I have to then pay whatever the price is for the iCloud Plus. I don't know how much it is for 100 gigabytes. It's probably more than $2.99. But with my example, hopefully you can now understand why sometimes your phone cannot back up or it says it does not have enough space. Because for me, with my example, I only have 5 gigabytes of iCloud, but on my phone, I have 100 gigabytes of data and information that's saving on my phone. That's a lot of data. So of course, I need to buy more iCloud storage in order to save all of this to the cloud. So does anybody have any questions on this?
Tabitha, how do you delete some of the items that are on your phone?
So this right here, this iPhone storage, you can go ahead and go to any of these apps that are taking up space and just start deleting things. So for me, I'm in this section, you can see that photos is taking up 20 gigabytes. So all I have to do then is go into my photos gallery and start deleting pictures, and that number will decrease.
Okay, thank you.
And if you have messages, that's the most, like I do as well. What I would have to do then is start deleting conversations with my friends, family members, so on, so on. But I just wanted to let everyone know that this is your iPhone storage. This has nothing to do with your iCloud. These are things just saving to your phone itself. Once again, does anybody have any questions? Because I'm leaving today with just this final page.
David, I just wanted to say thank you. I put it in the chat, but this was very informative. Thank you.
You're welcome. If anyone doesn't have any questions, I'm going to stop screen sharing my phone.